Welcome to Radio on Fire, home of the Diamond K Show.
Diamond K in the house.
And now for your urban news and entertainment report. Here's your host, Diamond K.
Oh my goodness.
It's the Diamond K Show.
Diamond K, Greg in the building. What's going on, man?
What's up, bro?
Good?
Yeah.
All right, so we got a lot of topics
We got a lot to talk
to dive into. So go ahead. What we got?
Let's start off with T.I. and his son.
Wow.
Now, what's the drama, man? What's going on?
I think that you see. I think you tend to see this with the kids of celebrities, and they have this. As T.I. was saying, this silver spoon in their mouth. But you got a lot of kids nowadays who want to act like they were more street than they actually were, or their upbringing was more hood than it really was.
How old is this kid, man?
19. King Harris is 19.
So let
that's
me guess.
T.I. and Tiny Son.
He's went to private school and all that stuff, and
I'm sure.
Yeah, the mean streets of Greenwich.
Mean streets of Greenwich, Connecticut. Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, he one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it, man. I just don't get it, man. It's just going to take this kid to go out there and do something stupid for him to get a wake up call.
Yeah, so it's funny because T.I. put him in the headlock and all that, and we saw that. I think that teenage boys, we all reached a point where we was tired of being under the thumb of our father, grandfather, uncle, whoever it was.
Right.
And you get a certain age and you kind of buck back a little bit. Mm-hmm. Did you experience that?
Yeah, I did.
And I did as well.
I did.
Yeah. And so I don't know how yours went. I will describe mine. So
I'll tell you how mine went, but you go ahead first.
Yeah. So me and my father it was kind of like play wrestling, kind of, that kind of thing.
Right.
And then it got serious.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like the because you think you're doing something, and then whoever's older, stronger, had to let you know, wait a minute, look, you can't take me. Okay. Right. And me and my father had that moment. You know what I'm saying? So I was in high school. So I probably was about 14.
Okay.
And what about yours? What was your moment like?
I can't remember how old I was. I was in my teenage years.
Yeah.
Me and my father had some words. Now, my father didn't raise me. So, we had some words. He said some things I didn't like, and I said some things back to him he didn't like, and we actually came to blows in there.
Oh, wow.
And like I said, I think in my situation, I probably should have stayed in my place.
Mm-hmm.
2, I was also pushed in the corner and provoked.
Yeah.
Where it takes a lot to get me, riled up, but it went there, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
And So you get to that point where he's old, he don't know nothing, and blah blah blah. You just
right.
And like I say, we got to throwing blows, so that was that.
Yeah. Now, what about with your boys?
I never had. Well, I take that back. My middle son, and this was in his 20s. I had to put some hands on him. Over something silly that he forgot who the fuck he was talking to. Yeah,
and I think that's what King went through.
Yeah.
But see the difference there, and I think with King is, your son had a momentary lapse of judgment.
Oh yeah, and I brought him back. You
brought him back. King has been on this road. Even if you ever watched that show, they got this weird relationship, and it's just continuing and continuing and continuing. And I don't know if they've gotten the blows yet. I think we probably would have known about it if they did.
Right.
But I think they on that road to get there.
Well, or it's probably going to come to that. And you say he's 19, right?
Yeah, he's 19.
This is going to come to the point where he's going to be put on his own and have to fend for himself.
Right.
Because if you're not listening to your parents, and I'm quite sure they're both trying to push him in the right direction.
Of course.
And you want to be out here to being some kind of a person that you're not. You're not built from that. You don't come from that environment. So why try to be it?
Right.
And like I say,
it's
going to come to the point where it's either going to be blows or they're just going to send him on his way.
Wow.
And then he'll see how hard it is out there then when you ain't got mommy and daddy to back you up.
Right.
That's what it's going to take. He's 19 years old, man. You think you know everything. You think your parents don't know shit. we all went through it, and
yeah, you think that, and but it's just like there is a line where you can have a difference of opinion with your parents,
right,
and you can do it in a manner that is respectful,
right.
that's not crazy. But I don't know what it is about. I mean, we have mutual friends, or a mutual friend, one person who likes to kind of rewrite history. And look, okay, the neighborhood we grew up in at Baltimore Hilton was not the best neighborhood in the world. It was not the most money there. There was definitely criminal activity and all of that.
It was a blue collar.
But it was, yeah, right. That's
working class,
working class,
middle
neighborhood.
class, working neighborhood.
A lot of homeowners
at the time.
At the time, right? Not now. Right. Now you go through there now, it looks like a bomb got dropped through there. But but when we look back on the neighborhood, it doesn't have, like, I don't know how you would describe Compton or like a real hood area. But it was ghetto. But and we could be a bit desensitized to the ghetto-ness.
But it was secluded to certain, maybe one or two parts.
Yes, there were good parts of the neighborhood,
right? And then you had your riffraff at certain at two or three certain parts. You had your riffraff,
right?
And that was pretty much out of sight, out of back then.
Back then, it's probably is open. But the person that we talking about, if you let him tell it,
I know
he will say that this was the worst neighborhood ever. It was the mean streets. It was
the project.
You're right. It was the project, and it wasn't that. It was hood, and everybody wouldn't have done well there.
Right.
But I don't know what it is when you get away from whatever you're talking about, that some people just blow it up out of proportion.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Now, this Young Thug trial.
Yeah. Give
us the update on that, man.
So Young Thug's trial is entering day 4. And this first of all, this trial is going to go on well into 2024. And it's so crazy because it's taken like almost 9 months to get started.
This is a RICO case, right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a RICO case. So there were 23 defendants initially, and now it has dwindled down to 6. So it was Young Thug and 5 other co-defendants, and they're trying to paint this, record company and entourage as a gang that Young Thug was the leader of. And I talked about this yesterday. What is unfortunate. And okay, you don't see this in anything else. You don't see this in any other genre of music. You don't see this in any other entertainment, acting, nothing else, where the lyrics are being used in the case.
I see that.
So they are using Young Thug's lyrics, stuff that he said on songs. I would say 90% of what rappers say on songs are lies or exaggerations.
But are these lyrics credible?
I mean, how can we know? How can we know if the lyrics are credible? I mean, if Martin Scorsese was on trial, who did The Godfather, right? Would they be using stuff from The Godfather at his trial if he was on trial for murder? No. If Al Pacino was on trial, would they be using stuff from Scarface at his trial? No. But if he was on trial for murder, they could cherry pick something that he said as Scarface and say, we're going to use this against you. This proof, you know what I mean? No, they wouldn't do none of that.
I hope he got a good lawyer.
I think he has a good lawyer. Yeah. But this is a very tricky case. I don't know how you beat a RICO case.
It's not set up for you to win.
It's definitely not set up. Yeah. This is what they use to bring down mafia and legit street gangs.
Right.
Now, if you have and a lot of people have a we go back to our neighborhood, right? If we formed a record company and we used some of the street guys in the neighborhood as our security, as roadies, people that we took around with us, and then we get on the road, we get into altercations, different things like that. Are they going to say we was a gang? They probably would.
Yeah, they would.
They probably say we was a gang. And so I'm sure that Young Thug did something like that, whereas though he took the dudes he grew up with, people that he was close to. He's getting money, and now I'm gonna start employing them, and they still doing whatever they was doing before, and the world's just merged, and that's where he's at with this RICO trial.
I hope he makes out okay, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. Your boy Diddy.
Give
me the latest on him, man.
Diddy's unfortunate because at one time I definitely looked up to Diddy.
I think everybody did.
Yeah, as far, I mean, he sold a lifestyle. He sold a lifestyle of luxury. Came as an intern from Howard, which is in the DMV. Going to Uptown, getting fired from Uptown, getting a distribution deal with Arista, forming Bad Boy, taking that to the moon.
Ooh, Diddy.
Taking it to the moon, records, remixes, and remixing those songs from the 80s and putting them in the 90s songs, and just, you know what I mean? And he's just been a constant force since like 1992. Yeah.
I mean, he changed the game, man.
Definitely.
I mean, if you go back to Father MC, Jodeci.
So this is like, we talking 90, 91.
91.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige and what he did with those artists, with their image, and how he completely changed the R&B scene as far as the image.
Diddy did that. Definitely.
He did it.
The remixes weren't even a thing to the degree that he took it to.
Right.
Whereas though they would have a song and you would remix it, and it would basically be a whole nother song with a whole nother beat, different artists and everything, and give the song new life. And so Diddy did that. But over Diddy's rise, there has always been this undercurrent of he did shady business, or and even when they were saying that the artist didn't, have the money or the publishing or the whatever, I still defended him and said, look, they have to do this themselves. They gotta be careful what they sign. They got all that kind of stuff.
True.
I didn't take care of their money. I defended him after all of that. You get into the issues with Death Row, and if you go back to when Tupac was shot, Diddy was some kind of ways involved in that, based on what Tupac said. If you remember, there was the party concert in the early 90s. I believe that it was, if it wasn't at Howard, I think it was in the DMV area, and it was trampling. Some people were killed. It was early on. They were saying that they oversold tickets and didn't have enough security, and it was like this thing that Diddy wanted money and valued the money more than patrons, and it was always this thing with him and money, right? But as time went on, we started to see little things of violence. If you remember the "Hate Me Now" video with Nas, they had in the uncut version Nas and Diddy on a cross like they were Jesus.
Yeah, I remember that.
He didn't want that. First he did it, and then he didn't want it included. And so he wanted it deleted, and it ended up being released without those parts being cut out. And he rolled up on, I believe it was Steve Stout in the office, supposedly hitting with a bottle. There were always little undercurrents of supposed violence. But if you go back to the East Coast, West Coast thing, right? Suge versus Diddy, we kind of got the image that Diddy wasn't necessarily a fighter. You know what I mean? He was a business person. But I don't think Suge was a fighter. But what you have is when you have men or people with money, they start to employ other people. They start to employ people around them who maybe are about violence and are all about that life. Right. So you started hearing these rumors of Diddy hiring gang members when he went to LA, different things like that.
Southside Crips.
Right. Southside Crips. And, there was always talk that Diddy was some kind of way involved with paying this person, that person, allegedly, with regards to Tupac. So you had all those things. Never did we hear of Diddy abusing women. We heard little things, but those weren't. We mainly heard that Diddy was screwing his artists out of money. And and things like that, or taking credit on records that he didn't produce, different things like that. So you fast forward to where we are now, and if you remember when Kim Porter died, there were little rumors of stuff, somebody we don't know, whatever. Okay. So I was completely taken by surprise when Cassie, his former girlfriend, a former artist, filed this lawsuit. Now it's been a week. I was a little bit over a week. I was surprised.
Me too.
I hadn't heard these type of allegations against him. We've heard a lot, and I went over some of the type of allegations, but him abusing, sex trafficking, raping, these were not things that we heard about him.
I mean, listen, man. Now I don't know if this stuff happened or not.
Right.
But my thing is, okay, here it is, 2023.
Right.
Almost the end of the year. And now, after all these years, and these people are talking about how long ago did this stuff happen, supposedly?
So there were 3 accusations made. One is from 1990, one is from 1991, and the stuff with Cassie, we're talking about the mid 2000s up until the teens.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I say, it's to me is we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. But it's not super far-fetched that these things happen. I don't think Cassie's lying.
Right. But see, and then I'm not saying she is or she's not, but in that case, did he settle quick?
Diddy settled quick, and so the thing, Diddy settled quicker than I've heard anybody ever settling ever in the history.
That's what raised flags with me.
But that raised flags with me. But here's the other thing that's very confusing for me. Okay, so this is coming from this Survivors Act that state of New York extended a year, where you had old cases based on sexual assault. The statute of limitations have run out, that they had 1 year that ended on Thanksgiving Day,
right,
that they could file these charges for civil dispute only. No criminal cases, because it was the statute of limitations have run out. So with the criminal case, you have beyond reasonable doubt as the benchmark. With the civil case, you have a preponderance of the evidence. Okay, so that is a lower bar that is required for a guilty verdict. This is the same type of case that E. Jean Carroll sued Trump for earlier this year, and Trump was found liable of the sexual assault.
Right.
Diddy was on his way to having that same type of case, and probably was what Cassie said, the same type of judgment. He would have been found liable of sexual assault, and it would have crippled his business if he got found. He ain't Donald Trump.
So did he settle out of court?
Yes. Okay. And so now through this year, Cassie, through her attorney, said, if we don't come up with a settlement, we won't file this case. And so his attorneys were trying to say this was extortion. It wasn't extortion. They were saying, we're going to file a lawsuit unless we can work something out. They didn't work something out. She files the lawsuit. Then you settle it immediately. He could have settled this and it never come out.
Yeah, because look what they was probably going to hit him with.
Yeah, so she sued for $30 million. I don't think she got $30 million. I don't. Here's why I don't think she got $30 million. Okay, so you get she's suing for $30 million.
$30 million for what?
She's suing for $30 million. And if she goes to this case, she ain't gonna get $30 million. The attorney's gonna get a big portion of it. You know what I mean? And she's gonna be dragged through the mud. It's going to be a terrible case. You remember that Amber Heard case with it's going to be on TV like that. It's going to be dragged out. It's just going to be, you know what I mean? So who wants to go through all that? So if we can settle for a lot less than 30 million, but a very, very high double-digit million number, then you do that. And I think there's somewhere around there. It'll just be hassle, make everybody go away, make it all go away. Now, but the thing is that you have that case. So he settles that. He thinks he's good. Everybody's like, dang, he settled the case. Of course, the attorney's like, settlement doesn't mean that we guilty enough and we not admitting to anything. Da 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 da.
Then here come what two
other cases come. One including Aaron Hall. And Aaron Hall talks reckless.
Man, you know what? I got him next on the list.
Man. Aaron Hall talks reckless. And like you said, we're going to get to Aaron Hall. Yeah. But you had these two other cases. I am sure that Diddy wants to settle those cases. But here's the thing. And some people are saying all these cases coming out of the woodworks. They had till Thanksgiving Day to file if you had any grievance that was owed. Mm-hmm. So people were coming out the woodworks and filing cases. And Diddy got two more cases. So does he settle these two cases? Does he let him go to trial? I say he's going to settle these two cases.
Get it over with.
Get it over with. Try to stay under the radar for a little while and then pop his head back up sometime next year. That's probably what he's going to try to do. He stepped down from CEO or chairman of Revolt temporarily, which means he's trying to return in the future.
Right. And
the charter school that he was partnering with, they don't want nothing else to do with him because right now Diddy is radioactive. Don't nobody want to touch him. Right. I heard Foxy Brown say some nice stuff about him, but if you look at for the most part, the Mary J. Bliges, Lil Kims, they ain't saying nothing. They just chill. Mace ain't even really saying nothing too much about it because nobody want to talk about it. Really,
yeah. Now, Aaron Hall.
Aaron Hall,
something, I'll tell you.
He's definitely something else. So if for those that even remember the group Guy, you got a trio spearheaded by Teddy Riley. Aaron Hall was the lead singer.
Right.
Aaron Hall was the man. He had that voice. He had that voice that really defined the 90s. That type of type of sound. Mm-hmm. R. Kelly took that, spun it. And took it further than Aaron Hall could ever even dream of going.
Right.
But Aaron Hall is a real grimy dude, and he's a rapper in the body of a singer. You know what I mean? As far as his swag, and you can see him on Vlad TV interviews and others talking about smashing girls in front of his homies and all that kind of stuff.
This person see me fucking this person.
He talks crazy.
Like, dude, look how stupid you sound, man.
Yeah, Aaron Hall talks crazy. He has a baby with Gloria Velez, a very beautiful woman who we infamously saw in Luke videos and Luke concerts, Luke Peep Show, and all that kind of stuff.
She was a video vixen in the 90s.
Definitely a video vixen.
She was a video vixen in the 90s.
Definitely. She's done a lot of Vlad interviews too.
Right. Up in everybody's video. And then didn't she say something about the only thing she really said about Aaron Hall is that he was a deadbeat.
Yeah, well, she tried to say that Luke was grooming girls. And so grooming, what do you think? Grooming means that you're taking somebody and you're training them and you're molding them to be something, right?
Listen, I believe those girls, even Gloria Velez back then, okay, Luke was hot.
Yeah.
Okay. Luke was hot. They wanted to be in his videos. Luke was the man.
Right.
He was the man. Everybody know he was the man at one time. And he was known for the type of music that he did. It was raunchy. It was nasty. It was in your face.
Yeah.
And everybody knew where Luke was coming from.
Definitely.
That was his avenue. And
no surprise.
And like how's she gonna say Luke is raunchy when, if you remember, Luke's Peep Show, which she was doing out by the pool, going down on another woman going down on her, whatever it was,
on stage in front of people,
in front of a crowd, in front of a crowd.
Yeah,
I didn't see Luke around.
No,
so who's raunchy? I don't think. Yeah, I didn't see nobody forcing her to do that.
Yeah, she did that on her own. And whenever you talk about that Freaknik era,
right,
there was a lot of that type of stuff going on.
Right.
And now, of course, it's looked at differently. I was telling you that I was listening to Dougie Fresh first album, and even some of the lyrics that Dougie Fresh said at the time, I'm like, hey, he probably can't even say this now. You know what I mean? And it's just in referencing to like he said something about it's hard for me to know the girls from the guys because some of these guys want to be cutie pies. And that would him saying a line like that now, people be mad at him.
Canceled.
He be canceled.
Yeah,
you know, it was just a different time. And we talking that was in the 80s.
Yeah.
So in the 90s was a different time. It was wild. And so when you come back now and try to put a 2023 lens on stuff that happened in the 90s, it's kind of hard sometimes because it was just a different time.
And then, you know, like with Gloria Velez, don't get me wrong, she is still beautiful.
Definitely.
To this day.
Yeah.
But Gloria Velez is only 44 years old.
Okay.
Okay, so you got to figure, we talking, she had to be in her teenage years then, in the 90s.
Yeah.
And,
well, she's same age as Game.
Yeah, and she's 44, and Aaron Hall is 59 now.
Aaron Hall's 59?
Yeah.
Okay.
August 10th, 1964.
Okay.
And she was born December 18th, 1978. You know, so you figure that's like a 15-year difference. Okay. So who was wilding out?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I definitely, in my time DJing in clubs, saw girls in clubs that later I found out were younger than we thought. They shouldn't even have been in clubs, right? But you know, dress a certain kind of way. They was able to get past security.
Right.
Security ain't give them no trouble. And you had girls who are moving in grown women circles,
right,
doing grown women things.
True.
Now, you in a club, and I've been in hundreds of clubs, and people around, they drinking, girls walking around, and you just assuming that people are of a certain age because of where you are. And you're not going checking IDs and all that kind of stuff. That's just not even how society works. Like you're in an area where I was carded, and I assume that you were carded as well. Right. So you have a lot of women in those circles, and then different things. They go back to hotels and whatever. And you have a lot of that, and that probably happens now too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, man. Okay, good one. Let's talk about sports for a second. What's the likelihood of Aaron Rodgers even attempting to return?
Oh, he's definitely attempting.
To return.
He's attempting to do it. They put him on a 21-day practice, and they're gonna check it out and see. They want him back so desperately.
Listen, man.
The season's already tanked.
With that offensive line they got, all they're gonna do is break him up even more. Look, you just sit out for the next season. The season is almost over anyway.
Yeah. To me, it makes more sense for him to come back next season.
Right. He just chalk this season up for whatever it is. Okay. And then hopefully you get another go at it next season.
But you know what they're trying to do? Their mentality is, we paying him a lot of money. And because we paying him so much money, let's give it a shot. And let's see, because he's not getting any younger. It's not like he's a rookie or 5 years in the league. He's many years in the league. With the time is ticking, and that's what they thinking. And we paid him all this money.
But Diamond, okay, then what's the use of bringing in a 40-something-year-old quarterback in the first place? I mean,
because they were only thinking short term. They were thinking this season. They thought that we were just a quarterback away. And their issues are deeper than just the quarterback position.
What, he got 5 plays into the first game before he got hurt? 5 plays?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
They need to start looking at the future quarterback, not this guy, man. Like
I
say, you might get one season out of him left, but I mean, with that injury, and if it's not fully healed,
and it's impossible. It's impossible. Now, so you got 1 or 2 schools of thought. Did they overplay what the injury was, or are they underplaying where he is in recovery?
I don't know, man.
I'm thinking that the injury wasn't what they said it was, because it was too quick. They were too quick to throw out there what they thought the injury was.
Right.
And I've seen interviews with athletes that have had that injury, and it does not heal that fast.
Yeah, it usually takes a year.
Yes, it does not heal that fast. Right. So either they lied to us and saying what he was injured with, or they are putting this man at a tremendous risk. And me knowing from what I've seen about Aaron Rodgers, he wouldn't put himself in that position. He ain't like, one of those quarterbacks like Big Ben was, where he's just tough. He ain't no tough dude like that.
Right.
So if he was really, really hurt, he wouldn't be coming back this quick. Man. I think that they have overstated what the injury was.
He need to sit his old ass down until next season, man. I mean, that's the bottom line. because the team will be liable. It's just too much liability having this guy even attempting to come back.
Absolutely.
Because you don't want to be on the hook having to pay this guy the rest of that contract and he's not playing.
You're right.
It's just stupid, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, your boy and our boy, Senator, was it Tuberville, whatever the fuck his name is?
Yeah. Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah. This dickhead is at it again. He's saying this is the weakest our military's ever been.
How dare he open his mouth to even say anything about the military?
Man, you know how I feel about this jack off, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, man? You know, and like I say, man, these Republicans have completely, and I mean completely lost their mind, man.
Yeah.
You know, and for him to even, a guy that's never served a day in the military, okay, for him to have the audacity, just like Trump, to even say some shit like that out of his mouth. I mean, it's a smack in the face, man. It's a smack in the face. You know,
I agree.
Because a fucking major war starts tomorrow. His kids or most of his kids or his family won't be involved in that shit. You know, that's what kills me with these politicians. It's like Trump gets up there and talk all that bullshit. You know, you see what he did to get out of Vietnam. You know,
what is it, bone spurs?
Yeah, you know, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but then they make this cocksucker the president and the commander in chief. It's a slap in the face, man. Yeah. It's just a slap in the face.
Yeah,
man.
It's crazy.
You know, like I say, next war start up. You think Burns going over there?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I know. Anyway, fuck that Tom Tuberville motherfucker. They need to, your boy George Santos, man. They need to vote this motherfucker out. I don't think it's gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. I will say this. Santos gave a speech, and I have to give him credit. He's a good con man. Okay. He made a good case as to why he shouldn't be evicted. And after he finished, I was like, well, maybe the man got a point. Okay.
Right.
You shouldn't be evicting somebody or impeaching somebody based on an allegation. Right? But it happens all the time. If you're at a job, certain accusations will have you gone. And then if you're found innocent later or you're acquitted, then maybe they'll talk about it later. But a lot of times they'll get you out of there.
Yeah, but they've already investigated and found him, guilty of these things that they were accusing him of.
Yeah, but they're saying that he's saying that it didn't happen in a court of law and the people elected me to come here and I mean, and you can make that case. You can make that case.
Bottom line, they are not going to vote him out because the Republicans need that vote.
Yeah, and I think that the Democrats should hang Santos around their neck as an example of Republican corruption in the 2024 election. Whether he's evicted or whether he is impeached or not.
Right.
They need it, but they're not going to do it.
They're not because they'll keep that wiener in there just to just get his vote for what they need. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Definitely. Man, did you hear about this? The Home Depot billionaire founder says he'll fund Trump even if he's convicted. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. He has definitely been a staunch supporter of Trump. And does that make you not want to go to Home Depot?
Yeah. Because because I shop there a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just like we was talking about Mike Lindell.
Yeah.
I'm not supporting your business. It's like Elon Musk.
Right.
I'm not supporting your business.
Right.
Yeah. No. So the Home Depot thing, man. These billionaires, man. I don't know whether it's just cocky or just arrogance or just
it's all of that. It's all of that. And when somebody gets money, like I say all the time, it does not change who they are. It exposes them. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these Trump supporters that have money, that are from different, have different businesses, corporations, the Trump era has exposed their hypocrisy, exposed their classism, exposed their racism, exposed their bigotry, exposed their treasonous and treacherous ways.
Right. You're right, man. Now, your boy Trump, again. Hey, Diamond, listen to this one. You ready, man?
Yeah.
He denies that he agreed to defend the Constitution of the United States.
Yeah. Yeah, support. I think the word that he tried to play with was support.
Right.
This goes back to shows you the just the treachery of some of these folks. And so you have the former commander-in-chief trying to make a case that he did not say he would support
when it's on
the
camera,
Constitution.
when he was sworn in.
Yes, it is absolutely on camera.
Full of shit, man.
Yeah, it's absolutely on camera.
But this is the guy that y'all want to get the Republican nomination,
right,
and make him the next president.
Right.
When he gets up there and says a traitor, shit like this, man. You know what I mean, man? It's just this guy is just. He just needs to go, man. You know?
No, I agree.
You know?
I agree.
Another thing, man. Fulton County DA not offering plea deals for Trump and I guess a couple of other people.
Yeah.
What's going on with that, man?
Fannie Willis, she knows what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and all of these cases, I will give Trump some credit. He is slick and slippery. He just knows how to maneuver around and just get out of stuff. He just knows how to do it. I've never seen anything like it.
Right. All right, I got another one for you, Diamond. What happens if Biden is forced to quit the 2024 election campaign? Like maybe due to health or age, or just can't be up to it?
It depends on when.
Right.
So if Biden is forced to quit due to health reasons, before the summertime,
right?
And campaigns underway, fully underway, the conventions already happened, that kind of stuff. I think VP Harris steps in and takes over. If it let's say that it happened in February. Mm-hmm. or March, and there's still some time. I think that you see more people get in the race, but I hope that does not happen at this point, because it takes time to put a candidate up and get them, right, on the ballot. I mean, you would have, depending on when it happened, you would still have Biden on some ballots, even though he had stepped down, because the ballots already were printed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it would be a disaster if that happened. Right. But what is interesting to me is that okay, for the record, I didn't want Biden in the first place, but we got him, right?
I don't think we had no choice.
We didn't really. He played the game, but regardless, you have people that are saying Biden's too old. Biden needs to step down.
Too old and
right?
Too fucking stupid.
But Trump is a 91 count indicted, found liable of sexual assault. All these cases, 4 criminal cases pending, all that stuff, and he's only 3 years older than the guy that people are saying is too old.
3 years younger.
3 years younger than the guy that they saying is too old. It seems like both of them need to step. Right. We were talking about people need to step down. They both need to step down.
They do, man. They do. All right. This is what I found interesting a couple of days ago, man. Hunter Biden called the House Republicans bluff by wanting to testify publicly.
Yes, and now they are scared and shook. The Republicans don't want him to testify.
Right. Now, see, he said, "I'll answer." He said, "I'll answer any questions you want."
Yeah.
They full of shit, man. Because if he does it this way, they can't manipulate it.
Exactly. And they want it to be behind closed doors so they can manipulate it.
Right. And that's what it's all about. Yeah. It's like, okay, y'all want it? Here it is. He said, "You can ask me whatever you want."
And you can go on tape and see a video of them saying, "Yeah, let him come in and testify." Now that he said, "Okay, I'll come testify," they like, "Oh, we don't want you to testify in open."
Right. They full of shit, man.
No, the transparency is what is needed because they don't have a case. Mm-hmm. They don't have nothing here. There's nothing to it. Right. And if there was something to it, you would be like, "Yeah, let's do a public testimony. Yeah, let's do it."
Right. Full of shit, man.
Yeah.
All right. On a lighter note, man. Now I found this funny when I first heard this about a week or two ago. Snoop Dogg says he stopped smoking weed.
Yeah, it was an interesting situation that you had Snoop saying that he's going to stop smoke, but he used the specific word. I did think it was weird that he said that he was cutting smoke or stopping smoke. Like the way it was worded was kind of kind of interesting. It definitely threw up a red flag for
Mm-hmm.
me. So then I started preparing a show talking about the harmful results of marijuana use. Right? I was studying and researching for this show, and then before I finished my research, he comes out and says he's not stopping smoking. It was this was all a marketing thing. Right, you know. And I just put the show. I didn't put a pin on the whole show, but
Snoop has did this before.
Yeah,
and we all knew he was full of shit back then.
You told me when he did the yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Before. That's why I knew he was full of. He smokes too much, man. You know, he's a
smokes
pothead. He's addicted. You know what I mean?
But when he said, "I want my privacy at this time," it made people think that he was sick.
Yeah, he's sick in his motherfucking head, man. You know.
Yeah.
All right, we're almost done. But hey, what do you think about Gene Deal?
This is a former member of Diddy's security team, and he is somebody for whatever reason that wants to be famous, and he's clout chasing, right? And so a lot of people would say he has all this stuff to say now, and he kind of reminds me of Chris Christie from the standpoint of you propped up Trump, Chris Christie. Now all of a sudden you saying he was bad, but what about before?
Right.
So Gene is the same way. Now Diddy was such a monster, but you helped prop him up.
Yeah, exactly.
You were silent for all this time because you was getting paid, and now that you're not, and there's no money over there, and you're trying to get money and notoriety somewhere else. Now you're throwing Diddy under the bus.
Exactly, because he's getting paid to do these interviews.
He's definitely getting paid to do these interviews. Yes.
You know, it's crazy, man. On a sad note, Rosalind Carter.
Yes, former First Lady Rosalind Carter, the longtime wife of former President Jimmy Carter. And I thought that Jimmy Carter was worse off than she was, and it turns out that she actually was further gone in her illness and her aging than he was, right. And he made a rare appearance at her funeral. But as you can see, he's really
because he's in hospice care.
He's really in bad shape. Yeah. Yes, he's in hospice care, and she was put in hospice care recently and ended up passing away.
Right.
But he's been in hospice care since like February.
Right. I mean, 77 years married.
Crazy.
So long time, ain't it, man?
Long
that
time.
Is crazy.
Long
man.
time.
I gotta say, sad, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's a long time to be married. I mean, that's pretty much unheard of these days.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking that he may not be long for this world now that she's gone.
Because usually, you know, once your soulmate is gone, you usually go down right after, you know.
Yeah.
So, but he's 99 years old.
Right.
So, you know, sad, man. And sad. Last thing, our Ravens are 9-3.
Yeah. I don't think we've been 9-3 before.
I don't think so.
I don't think we've been 9-3 before.
I don't think so, man.
The boys look really good. And what's interesting is that the games that the Ravens have lost thus far, they shouldn't have lost. It wasn't like they got beat. They beat themselves or took their foot off the gas. Exactly. So they can go all the way to the top.
Right. I mean, the good thing about where we at right now is that we got to bye this weekend.
Yeah, so which we need. They need to rest.
Badly needed rest.
Badly needed rest. A few players that I want to get your opinion on. Odell Beckham Jr. He's getting paid big money for impact. He's somebody they brought in for impact. Do you think that he has been impactful thus far?
Not at the first half of the season. I think it's the last maybe 2 games he's starting to pick it up a little bit more.
Yeah.
But he was basically a non-factor in the beginning. Then he was hurt. And
I think he has an injury now.
Right, you know, but it's like this, man. With even with like Javon Clowney and Van Noy on defense, you know, with these older players, it's like this with Odell Beckham. You don't have to play him every down,
and they should not try to utilize him
and like with Van Noy and Clowney, you know. You put them in there, you know, they ain't got to be in there every down, but when they in there, they are really effective.
And they've been effective.
Right. And like you know that Beckham is injury prone. I mean, just to say it, he is.
He is.
And like I say, you don't have to have him in there, every down.
Right.
Because I mean, and I think that's why they kind of holding him back, because, of the injuries,
Flowers. Have you been impressed with Flowers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Zay Flowers has really been difference
safety. What's the light skinned tall safety? What's that guy name? Hamilton.
Yeah.
Oh man, a beast, man.
Yeah.
He's a beast, man.
Yeah.
Flowers is good though, man. Like I say, man, and Bateman, the other wide receiver, he's starting to catch on a little bit more.
Definitely, I've been worried about him. And previously, he just celebrated a birthday yesterday.
Right.
And so the loss of Andrews,
big loss.
Big loss.
Mm-hmm.
That is Lamar's favorite target.
Right.
But the other guys have been stepping up.
And I will give him this last game. I'm likely, and I can't think of the other. I'm tight end's name. They did step up, man.
Yeah,
I will give them that, man. They did step up.
Is that Ricard? Ricard is who's Ricard?
Ricard is a fullback.
Fullback, right? Yeah. So I can't think of the other guys.
Right now.
But yeah, so it's just all of our games. Are they pretty? No. They're not pretty.
No.
Will we get through it? I think that Lamar is probably having his best season.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's had an MVP season.
Right.
I think this is his best season because he's not having to do all the work.
Right. And see that's the difference. He don't have to run as much.
MVP season he did all the work.
Right. And now with Todd Monken, which thank God that it started off a little rough.
It did,
but it's catching on now, and I see that every week the offense is just flowing. It's getting better now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And like I say, if you notice, man, Lamar he rarely runs now. He don't have to
because of the offensive coordinator and the strategy that they're using.
Right.
Greg Roman's strategy, Lamar would not have been long for the league.
No,
because he would have got hurt.
No, you're right. I mean, you're right, man.
Yeah.
You're right.
And so that the way they're doing this thing now, they're trying to extend his career.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is good.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think that is good. I'm predicting that we make it to the playoffs. I'm predicting that we have a nice run in the playoffs.
I'm predicting Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are finally starting to recognize that the Ravens are a problem.
Right.
Because they're always rooting against us.
Yeah, I know.
they always rooting against us.
I know, man.
Yeah.
All right, then, bro. I gotta say, man, good show, man.
All right, absolutely, as always. So we'll be back next week.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Diamond.
All right.